Hey everyone, Connie here from the Daubers, and today we're going to be interviewing Kai, who came 10th at the Sheffield RLE. So let's see how his weekend went. How long have you been playing the game?
Oh God, it goes quicker than I've been playing since season one,
Yep,
which is it 1 year or 2 years now?
I think it's going on 2 years now.
Just about two.
Yeah.
Started up with Kirishima one. Was garbage. I've played like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh very casually, like years ago. As mentioned earlier, I've played some competitive Warhammer stuff. I tried that god awful card game they made.
Oh no, you played Conquest?
Diachasm,
Oh
Conquest, yeah,
no.
Conquest as well. And then you've got Diachasm with the minis. And yeah, just one day after work, some of my friends were like, "You should come down and play this new game." And I built a deck out of bulk for like £4.50 because I bought loads of
Oh,
extra
that's fun.
cards. I just got like literally every Earth card that was available to me.
Nice.
I just started going on it. I think I played Kirishima good for a little bit because I bought the um, Deku rival deck.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and then Bakugo's kind of
Yep.
been my kind of side goofy deck for a while. But yeah, not really anything before this, like at least competitively. But yeah, just been on the as soon as like it started picking up and people were like, "Oh, you got a good play style, you play something," and then Kirishima hard fell into meta, and I was like, "Cool." I am a massive Kirishima stand. I need to be number one. I need to do it. And then he got errated and no play, and I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna go for the home run. I'm gonna go to an actual event. I'm gonna try and push my luck." And it's kind of paid off. So I think I'm kind of in it for the long haul now. I can't really back
Yeah,
down
fair,
now.
fair. So
Um,
obviously, so when you were playing, so you started with the Kerry one, then I'm getting as such.
yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, for a long time until DLC 2 came out. Oh god, I'm so bad with my timescales. It was basically until Kiri 2 came out, I was just full on Kirishima 1. Um, yeah, and then just DLC dropped, and I was like, Homage to My Hero is an amazing card. Hardened Crusher is not my favorite, but it's a good card. But just the way that Kiri 2 would cycle so much, and especially that Kiri 1 got errated, I was like, cool. Kiri 2, and then just dive bombed on that, and I haven't played anything else competitively since. So
So if they were to get banned, what would your backup character be at that point?
now Overhaul,
Okay, fair. Yep,
if
yep.
he comes out, because he is just Kiri 1, but just not
Yeah,
errated basically. The silly loops you can do with that foundation he has that he can commit and then play for block, and then if you don't respond with it, you can manly passion it and build it down.
yep.
Like then you can just loop that basically. I just thought it was insane. Like always having a two mid block on your stage is like one of the strongest things I've seen, at least from Earth.
Yeah,
I know
definitely.
that there's loads of ways to counter it now by like committing the foundation, sealing it, all this kind of stuff. Um, but he still has his main enhance. So I think that's going to be, if he does get banned, which I hope not. I mean, I hope this is a hypothetical, but I think overhaul, and then I Kiri threes on the horizon. So that will be. I think as soon as he comes out, he'll become my mainstay, unless he's somehow absolute garbage.
Less is
But we'll
worse.
see.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
fair
or he
enough.
loses the Earth symbol, which I will cry if he
Oh,
does.
actually true. I mean, I don't know if they could lose their symbol. I think there would have to be some mental card ability, I think, for him to lose that symbol.
Yeah, yeah. I think as well. Since in the teaser they were like, "Is manly spirit counters? Is that what they called?"
Yeah, something like that,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that Muscular's kind of been his kind of setup character for how he works. I think it'll be the same sort of thing where he takes reduced damage, gains a counter every time you attack, every time, or maybe every time you build something, you gain a counter, and then it does more damage, extra, etc. Um, so yeah, I think as soon as he comes out, I'll be on full hog, and then probably overhaul will be the flip.
Yep.
But then having to side in loads of cards for those played anywhere from hand will be a bit difficult. So
Yeah, that could be like an entire sideboard.
yeah, it's
Like,
kind of up in the air at the moment, but
so let's go through your Swiss rounds at the event.
yeah. So obviously, the great example I played you first round. That was a
Yep.
45 minute match of
Yeah, that was
Nomu 1 and Kirishima 2 just hitting each other in the face and
Yep.
doing nothing. I
Yeah.
remember, I remember you saying to me like you will. I think that set up my day. You just being like, you will go far with this deck. Just keep playing how
Yeah.
you're playing. Like I don't think many decks can do that play style and stand up to stuff like Nomu
Yeah.
and kind of
And
build that brick wall.
and even then, I was pretty convinced, like for the most part, that game was going to be a tie. I just assumed it's going to be a tie. I just didn't think any of us was. What happened at the end of our game was I got the deadlock on the capes, which allowed me to then pick up my 2 igniting arrows, basically, which allowed me like a
Yeah,
4 into 5/6 attack run, which was
it,
like the
it,
only thing that saved us.
it was a 4 ignited arrow combo, which
Yeah.
all do 8 damage. I think I tanked the first one, a Kirishima response the second one,
Yep.
and then Nutritia Cape, and I was like, I completely forgot that
and
card
and
does
and
that.
and so did I. Until I was looking at it, being like, I think this is what this is in the deck for. Because like I was saying to you, I was like, oh, I built this like so late in the game, like that it'll do something maybe.
Just like goofy deck, throw it about. I mean, a few players did that. A few players were just like, I'll just kind of throw the deck out there. I'll build it silly. Not to jump the gun, but my last game, that was my first game in non-Swiss. I believe Connor is a Shota 1 player. Don't quote me on that. Could be wrong.
Like,
But he's a very good order player. And he threw a fourth kind deck together and was like, I know how to play order. I know how to do this. It will do something. And then he placed second place. So
yeah,
because of his card knowledge and everything, and I was like, yeah, that can really show that like you can just build a deck and go, cool, I know how this works. So if you gave me another Earth character, I know how Earth works.
yeah,
I'll
hundred
kind of
percent.
pick up the pieces, you know?
Yeah, I think that's the best thing as well. It's like once you start to master a symbol, as such, like yeah, every character that can play that symbol, you just know. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like we've just had a Sutu player who like just knows water completely at our locals. Just won one of our provisional championships, store
nice.
championships. And we've thrown like he's played like Sero and Sue and Backdraft, but he picks up very quickly just because he's only played the water symbol. That's it for 2 years, just the water
And that's it.
symbol.
Yeah.
God, it was such a blur of a day. I think probably my best match was. Am I allowed to name drop? I mean, I guess
Yeah, go
everyone's
for it.
names are
Yeah.
there. Carl Rock playing Monomo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Another brick wall v brick wall because he was just me.
He just copies. Yep.
Yeah. It was at the point of the day where it was late, everyone was hungry and tired, and he just made my match so enjoyable, super friendly. He was doing his deck was interesting. It was a lot of. I'll have to have it in front of me to remember what it was, but it was a lot of lows. He was siding her Gakure, running her breaker attack. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh god, I'll flash it up. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
you'll
do.
find it.
The
But
editing's
he
going to
was like
cover this.
removing. Yeah, he was removing the foundation that I would commit from Back Alley Haymaker, and then obviously just rebuilding it in. Sorry, not from Back Alley Haymaker. What was I? That's not was. Sorry, committing for his attacks. He was removing them and then rebuilding them.
Ah, rightio. Yep.
And then also was obviously using my Kirishima enhance, removing a face
Oh
down, and then
yeah.
building it back up. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's really well done adaptive gameplay and like kind of working around your situation. I was like, just keep playing mono mode. Like you seem to like have good general knowledge of how interactions work. Throwing stuff like Gecko Stomp at me as well.
Oh, nice.
And like trying to like bait out my learning the standards and all that because I know he's going to echo. So it was a really interesting matchup. That kind of pushed me really hard, and that was the game for top 16 as well. So both of us
Oh.
were like, no stress, man. Like just chill. It was a really good game. I think that was probably one of my favorites of Swiss. Okay, yes, cool. So yeah, I did actually face 2 of my team members, which was really annoying, but really good at the same time. I lost my first game against one of my opponents because I played Aaron, who was it? I think it's top 8 with Shigaraki 1 in nationals, last nationals.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
He's been my most. I was so scared of playing another Shigaraki 1 because I think that's the character I struggle with the most.
Right.
It
Okay.
went 2-1 to him. I managed to pull off like a classic back alley haymaker, frenzy, hardened jab, hardened uppercut hand, and just
Nice.
dish
Yeah.
out
Just
loads of damage. He was destroying my foundations from blocking and stuff, but I was just like, I don't care. I'm just going to build more in. Like, I'm just going to hit you in the face. But for me, most of it, it's the way he plays around destroying my foundations, and he knows how to get me in a real bad spot, and then slap me with a Shigaraki response, and I can't. I have to take at least 5 damage, and then he'll just build an absolute crap ton after doing that one attack. That I go, okay, he's going to hit me with the combo string, and he does the burn, and I'm like, oh, okay, I've just wasted loads. I've taken 7 damage. I've had to Kirishima enhance.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that was it's been my toughest matchup. I'm glad I didn't play another one. I did play Shigaraki 3, which was really interesting. It was under order. Um, I'm trying to remember his name. Nathaniel,
Oh,
super
right.
super
So,
nice
yep.
dude.
So that was the other one.
Like
Yeah.
one of your friends. He was with you a lot in the event, or just talking or whatever. But yeah, no, he was super nice. Um, yeah, his deck was just constantly. I've got 12 cards in my hand. Check another 7 for me. Actually, make that an 8. Uh, like it was just make that a 9 because once per game. Oh, make that a
Yeah.
10 because of my attack. I was just like Jesus Christ. Like it was really tough, but yet again, it was just cards like Back Alley Haymaker and Harden Uppercut just stacking down my foundations with stuff like jab and frenzy, like first turn jab, just building down,
Yeah.
uh, and stuff like hard and chop to reset. Just kind of manipulating the game state, going, I'm gonna reach like 17 foundations. I can make these checks. I don't mind if you draw cards because then it
Yeah.
means you rotate your blocks less. Yeah, you might have a crap ton of attacks in your hand, but I can tank a few hits. It'll be absolutely fine. I think he would have had a bit of a better matchup if he ran more of the Shigaraki card that's discard 2 momentum burn for 5.
Oh, I think it's at the chain or something. There's
Yeah,
so many
they're
of
all
them. There's so
decaying,
many of
calm, whatever.
them.
But I was surprised he didn't side into them because when we went into was it 2-1? Um, I can't remember whether it was 2-1 or 2-0. But I thought he sided into it, and in my second game, I went super aggressive on blocking, so he'd have no momentum, and really shut him out because he had no other tools to get anything in momentum, no throws, no nothing like that.
Right,
Like,
okay,
cool,
yeah.
if I lock you out of this game state, I can just do my thing. I can have my board state. I'm not going to get burned. But I don't think he was running any of the card. I don't know if it doesn't have the order symbol. Um, but he wasn't running any of them, so I was surprised at that for a Shigaraki that wants to kind of get through you quickly.
Yeah. Maybe just hedging bets on the minus on the checks, maybe.
Yes, and
Um,
it did work well. There was a lot of times where I was like, you can just draw up, you can have because I was playing the block game as well. I was like, you can have the extra damage. I'm not gonna check a 7 because I know I'm gonna block it. I mean a big chunk of my deck now, and the way it works around is plus ultra teamwork, um, hard uppercut, having a mid block that reduces the speed to 0, having that non-progressive, and then a 0 high block that reduces
yeah.
2 speed to the next. If you have I just hug those cards when I've got them in my hand for a defensive turn,
Yeah, no, nice.
and that's kind of what killed him because then I saved the hard uppercut and just stack loads of momentum in
Just
it and go, yeah.
nice.
Yeah, because I kind of I lost my first 2 games, so I got dropped right down. Played a Baco 1 that was interesting.
Oh,
I've got some experience because a few of my friends at locals play Baco and have nitros and stuff. So I wasn't too scared of it because I was able to tank the hits and keep stuff in
yeah.
his card pool. So that game of fight really. What's his name? He added me on Facebook and I can't remember his name. Um, Brandon. Brandon was super nice. Baco 1 player. Super super lovely. Um, but that was the fourth game, so my brain was kind of mush by that point. So
Yeah,
I'm
the
sorry, Brandon,
fatigue
you were
starts to
super
come in.
lovely, but sorry, you were saying?
It's like the fatigue as game four starts. It's like that's when it starts to really start to matter.
Yeah, it was because
Yeah,
was it the fourth or third game we had the break?
after the third. Yeah,
After the third, yeah. So I had a break. Went down the pub to switch off.
yeah.
Came back. Um, had a Greg's and just like tried to get back into it. But I was like, my brain, I don't know how I'm going to do three more games. Um, and just by like pure perseverance, I managed to. I think it was 2-0, 2-0, 2-1, 2-0. No, 2-0,
Nice.
2-1, 2-1. I think. And that got me into top 16. Um, Yeah, no, it would have been four games. So yeah, 2-0, 2-1, 2-0, 2-1, 2-1. I believe. I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
So
Um,
what was your end record then at that going in from Swiss at least?
so I got placed at 15th, I think, after Swiss, after all the things had gone through. Yeah, went and celebrated with the team because everyone, I think, almost all of us got into top 64. We only had one player drop just from general fatigue and him being like,
Yeah.
um, just like brain's just not having it.
It's a
Game's
long
not
day.
going amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
long day. Um, but he's already done plenty of a lot of my team players used to do Dragon Ball,
Yep.
so he kind of knows his limit, and just called it quits. But he's kind of prepping up. He's switching over his Deku from good to life
Oh,
again,
nice.
and kind
Okay.
of setting up for Deku 4. So
Yeah,
um,
I think everybody's setting up for Deku 4.
it's the big one at the moment.
Yeah.
So I know UVS players are quite excited because obviously it's just basically Jackie
Yeah,
Briggs
it's
coming
just
back.
Jackie
So
Briggs. Yep. Jackie
so
Briggs without water and she doesn't care
yeah,
about tech. We're all hyped.
yeah, people are because now it's Fury Punch, three less health and two less to powerful.
Yeah.
Um, so people are
But with
quite
such a absolute level of card interaction now.
yeah.
Because tech back in the day as such was alright, but I had like you had like the package and that was basically it. You couldn't really deviate
Mm,
from it. Whereas
yeah,
like every third punch in this game, like every third attack in this game's got punch. It's like you're just open to such a playstyle
yeah,
change. I don't think you'll see the same jacket or Deku 4
yeah.
as often.
Yeah, I think tech has still got kind of an issue in MHA. Like you had Mei Hatsume that kind of really
Yeah,
benefited from it, but every deck is just the same. She's got a little more support with Evil and Life with sorry, just Evil with Overhaul coming out.
yeah.
No, Evil and Life with that Zero Cost Foundation, which is like the commit. Is it commit and seal one or commit and commit one?
Commit. Yeah,
Yeah, um, which is obviously a lot better for her 'cause she build it in, and then of course she can play back Ellie Haymaker as well and throw that in because why not?
yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
So then, obviously, so you make top 16. So how did your top cut rounds go?
So I only had one game because I did get DQ'd.
Oh,
I think it was a kind of combination of first event being live streamed. A lot of loves. My friends were all like cheering me on and stuff, and team and all that. My phone was kind of going off. I had to put it on silent. I was like, "Cool, just stop. I need to concentrate." But Connor had such good pressure. Who really knew the order symbol. I had two blunders. I basically Kirishima enhanced twice by accident because I completely forgot I did when I was trying to go
right.
for my kill turn. I got him down to 4 health. Uh, yeah, I needed 4 more damage, and I was like, "Cool, Kirishima enhance, like just
Yeah,
autopilot."
you just
Uh,
autopilot it. Yep.
yeah, and you can see in the webcam play, Connor is about to say that like, "Oh, you're doing it twice," and I hold out the card. I'm like, "Oh, I've just seen this. I've done it twice." And I was like, "God damn!" I got my warning. I was like, "Cool, that's fine." I know he's gonna kill me now. I know it's coming. We went into the next turn. He just blood curdles me, commits my character, and I was like, "Oh God, what do I do?" autopilot Kirishima Enhance. We were just like, cool,
Ah,
that's game. But he had two 1.3 mils in his hand, and I
ah,
had 9 committed foundations.
oh,
And
jeez.
I was like, yeah, GG. Like that's not like a what'd you call it? Like it's not like a fail on, like it's not an undeserved victory from me DQing. Like I'm glad I didn't take that away from you, because yeah, he fought really well. And uh ice slide tackle, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was really screwing up my hardened frenzy. I had Kirishima's assistance on the board. I sided into one more to try and stop it, but even if I did, it just go back in hand
Just goes
anyway.
back in hand, yep.
I was just like, I just can't, I couldn't keep up. Um, and the one big bit of feedback I got after playing that game, I've got no deadlock hate in my deck, um, mainly because it's a dot deck.
Yep.
That's kind of what I was going for. Um, but I really should have had something like Berserker Blow, Snack Time, Pull No Punches. I really should have thrown something like that in the side deck, because it was just the foundation off. Both hit around 17 to 20 game one, and he can just hit harder than me, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And then commit me out, throw out 1.3. Um, so that was kind of I think the blunder of it is, the big takeaway was just no deadlock hate, which I'm hopefully getting this set, and already there's a lot available for Earth, so I just need to kind of take my pride and ego down a bit from Kirishima, and then put some other cards in that aren't just his face.
It gives you some stuff to look into the sideboard though, you know, like that's the thing. Because especially with a lot of things like deadlock as well, like in Scotland, for instance, like the way we play, there is no fear of deadlock with most of us. So like it's like it'll happen pretty often, but you don't tend to get like deadlock hate in response because just everyone's going to go into it as such.
Yeah,
So like I think it also depends on the like sort of the meta, especially within a local level as well. Um,
yeah, I think there's a lot more deadlock hate coming out in a few of the cards.
yeah,
I've definitely been, a few of the players in my team are very conscious of deadlock. They kind of hover around the 10 mark anyway,
yeah,
but that's just for their resources. They don't really worry about face downs. They're quite good at cycling their foundations. People running stuff like self sack and all that, to kind of manipulate their board state. Whereas me, I was like, I'm just brick wall. I don't care about deadlock. I think the only, is it first Finland encounters, add 2 foundations from
and
stage to
two,
card
yeah.
pool. That's the only one I'm scared of. I hate playing against that card.
Yeah, because it's going to
Um,
force out your key pieces rather than it.
yeah,
Because a
and
lot
I'm
of your
just
stuff
like,
flipped. From at least our
yes,
game as such, I noticed a lot of it flipped. So it was like,
mm,
right, I need to like target this stuff that has text on it now.
yes, yeah. Yeah, I've got very used to playing with face downs and just kind of not really playing with a very like raw game state. My only real essentials are kind of learning the standard and homage.
Yep.
They're the two big. They're my backbone. I rely on them a lot throughout my games. I don't think um, I would have really won some of my games. Like learning the standards really screwed with a lot of people, especially people trying to combo. The thing with Connor is always so conscious about it. The way I've beat fourth kind before is obviously they go for their kill turn, they go attack, 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 attack. On the third one, you're like, cool, you're not getting that +4 damage. And he sees them on my
Yeah.
board state, he's like, cool, no, attack, foundation, foundation, attack. And I was like, cool, that's really screwing me now, because I know you're not going to attack after that, and I know you're going to build foundation after your first one, so there's no point. There's literally nothing. Um, so yeah, but playing with that kind of raw game state, there's no cards I'm really too precious about. Like even if Harden gets flipped, it's +3 damage, but I want to stack momentum for that Harden uppercut anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah. So there's always like that kind of out for it, even if it gets flipped.
yeah, and so even back alley haymaker sometimes just throwing it out. Like I hate I don't have to use that card, but kind of with the current state of the game, it's such a free card.
Yeah.
Having build, having stun 2, and having EX on it, it's just such a strong opener. And going to my opponent, what are you going to do with this? And then also the Kirishima interaction where I can destroy face down and then build it back in, and I can reset my hand a bit, reset my stage even more,
Yeah.
and not lose anything and get +2 damage for it. It's like
Yeah.
it's
That's
why
like it's
not?
just super synergy for you. And I think it's one of
Yeah,
those cards that just does it. Like I mean, I opened like 3 boxes of Crimson Rampage. on that Tuesday, and I was like, I need to find three of these.
Yeah,
So like, I
yeah.
totally, like, 100% makes sense. Like, I think everybody on Symbol with it is typically running it.
Yeah, and I
It-
know with Chronostasis, is that a
yeah,
Chrono guy? He's the two attacks he's going to be nicking every game is 1.3 and back alley haymaker.
yeah,
Like,
oh,
there's no other
100%.
cards you'd want to really nick. So
How was the overall event, for instance? What was your takeaway from the overall event?
it was very overstimulating. It was a first off. Like I said, I've done Warhammer stuff. I've been to like tattoo conventions and stuff as well. I've been to a lot of like art stuff. Warhammer. I'm usually fine. Usually go to Comic Con every year. Not this year, sadly, but I try and go every year, or if not every other year. But I think it was just kind of all these new people that kind of were in it a lot longer. There was a lot of UVS players, and I was like, "Crap! I know nothing.
Yeah,
I like one character and I run with it." Like, but there was some really good insight of like weirder interactions, like learning the standards and Echo and how that works. How like old cards are being reprinted and stuff. Kind of like what people were excited to have come back in. Weird stuff like Kaiden as well, the guy that works with like no printed text in his
yep,
cards and gets buffs for him. I was like,
yep,
that's sick. Like, why don't we have like a why wasn't that all for one? Like that
yeah,
would be
yeah,
because he's like quirk manipulation and stuff, so that would made sense in my brain. But yeah, if I had there was no one was salty, no one was kind of bigoted. There was no like horrible. I was really expecting at least one person to kind of be that guy. But no one was. All the Patriot staff were doing amazing. All the judges were great. They were really pushing through it. I can't imagine the workload of dealing with 101 people. But they made it super, super comforting. I think it was as well organized as it could have been for that many people. I've seen things run smaller that absolutely fall apart. So it was a really good job by them, and I felt really welcomed and really accounted for by almost every player, the judges, the Jasco rep. Like they did a really good job, and I'm hoping I can get to that LGS again because damn, it was a good LGS. It was huge, loads of support, so much merchandise, and just stuff for other games. It just seemed I was like, damn, why don't we have? Why am I not closer to this? Like this is great. I love my hometown AGS, but we run quite a small. We run a Geek Retreat chain, so it's quite a
right, yep.
small place. I say run. I don't run it. I just go there. But it's quite a small venue. It's very welcoming, and I love everyone there. But just seeing something on that scale for card games, I was like, damn, this is amazing.
Yeah, especially because like there was also a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament happening on the other
Yes.
side as well. So it's like one event's got 101 people, and then I think they said it was like 50 something. Was it a Yu-Gi? And you're sitting going, oh my god, that's a lot happening in one room.
Yeah, and the staff having to flip flop between them. I did see some staff go back and forth. They seem to have dedicated staff, but someone judge calls and we've got our own judges, so they'll have to go. Okay, I have to go over here and flip flop and kind of go between. But it was really well managed and it was good to be there. So
So that was like your first kind of like major event then, or at
yeah,
least
yeah,
this game is
definitely.
such. So like with
Yeah,
it being your first major as such, like if there's a piece of advice you could give newer people, like what do you think that would be?
I got given one piece of advice by one of my old time players who's in the team, and it was no monster. And Jesus Christ, that the amount of times we've done like long deck building or we've done a store provisional championship. Um, Bearing in mind everyone we've done I've lost. I've not even made it into the top. I didn't realize how bad the caffeine crashes were and like how much like I think I would have dropped out if I touched any of that stuff. I know it's quite a silly simple thing, but Jesus Christ, I would have ran in there, I would have had like two monsters and I would have dropped out by game three. Like
Yeah. No, definitely. I appreciate that one actually, because I always say to everyone drink water, and it was like the one thing I didn't do at the event was I just didn't drink at all. I was just like running on fumes.
Yeah, that was I had protein bars on me. I had loads of water. I ate as much as I could going into it. I had as much on my lunch. I tried to smoke as little as possible. And that's one of my big things, as a vice for me. But I think just kind of like detoxing and resetting. I was trying to drink less, which didn't go as well as I thought it would, but it helped out. Um, but yeah, I think that was the big, like, if you look after yourself, it's a lot easier as someone that's quite anxious anyway. Like, yeah, with the Yu-Gi-Oh as well, that's a good like 150 people in a room, not including the people working there. So it's probably somewhere around 160, 170 people in that room. You kind of need to look after yourself to be able to, perform as well as you can. And I think if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have made Top Cut at all. I barely scraped by into it. So
No, but the thing is, you didn't really scrape in. I would have said you ran the gauntlet, is what you did, and you got in.
I,
That's the
I,
best
I
way to put it.
appreciate that.
I
Yeah.
mean, you've got 101 players, and you've got to be in the 16%. Like,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get that. So is this that also got you your national invite?
Yes, it did. I was really worried because, like I said, I wasn't getting them in my store provisionals at all. I just wasn't performing well. Same exact deck. No differences to the deck. This deck has been actually. There's one difference. I run teamwork now. That's it.
Right. Yep.
It used to be a sugar rush for the extra kill potential.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, and I say that because that did save me a few times. But yeah, now I've got my Nats invite and I'm super hype. I'm like, cool. I wanna get Top Cut again, and I want to go to Las Vegas. Like,
Yep.
I want to push through it. So I think if I manage to do that, especially against with some of the top players, people that have got top 32 at last Nats, top 8 at last Nats. There's people that have had contender and stuff, people that won last regionals. Like, I say I've got an all right shot, especially running a not a dead character, but there was 2 or 3 other Kirishimas,
Yeah, there was
I
actually a
think.
couple. Yeah.
But something that's not reached top cut in pro play in quite some time, at least since the errata. I don't think it's even had any representation.
No, I think you probably have escalated it to like the highest point since the errata, for definite.
Yeah, I think that was my goal. It was put my team on the map and put Team DMS on the map, and then put Kirishima back on the map. I was like, cool, I've done it. I'm that guy. I've reached it.
So like we've pretty much rattled through the vast majority of the questions that I have. I just
Nice.
had some basic ones, but you have absolutely nailed this interview. Like
Thank you, man.
if there was a job, you've got it kind of material,
I've done
because
it. Woo,
that
let's go.
was smooth. The editing level is going to be smooth, clear running.
Yeah, apart from when I've got to whip out my phone and find who the hell I was playing against because I had no idea what I was doing. But and then talking
But
about Warhammer for like 10, 15 minutes.
nah,
Oh
you
man.
nailed it, man. That's
Thank you,
basically
man.
it. But again, thank you very much for even taking the
Oh,
interview,
thank
man.
you,
Thanks
man.
for making time
Yeah.
for it.